As booksellers, we all know how spoiled we can sometimes get with the low cost of our books, usually $1 or less, sometimes even free. But several times this week in our Facebook groups, I've started to see the opposite question being asked. The question that I have seen asked in the Facebook groups is, what is the most you've ever spent for a book and how much did you sell it for? To that question, I would also add, how long did it take you to sell it? In this video, I'm going to talk about why spending up for premium books is a great strategy to add to any bookseller's model. My name is Manny, and this is Manny's Book Bag. Hey everybody, how you doing? I hope that you're all doing well. I'm noticing prices this week are beginning to creep up on us, even though long-term storage fee purge is trying to work against us. I hope you've gotten rid of all of your dead weight inventory and we can start fresh. Well, I know that I've certainly gone lean and mean with my inventory. As of the filming of this video, I'm down to 2,402 items. And judging by how the way sales are starting to really go up really fast, beating last year's August should be cake. That's actually going to be a really big deal for me because judging by the numbers of 2016, my August sales were actually a breakout sales month for me. It was the first textbook season that I had hundreds of textbooks in stock ready to go, and at the time it was a record sales month for me. Even though we got off to a rocky start this month, sales are going up really fast and I'm actually on pace with last year's August. So here's to hoping that we all crush it this August. One memorable moment for me last August was purchasing a textbook for $48 that I sold within about a week and a half for $110. Now this is a textbook that I still purchase and flip very regularly. And even though it is quite a bit of money, it sells very quickly during this time of year. And even though it's not exactly 100% return on my investment, it's a $35 bill every time I sell it. So I think that it's a fantastic introduction into talking about why spending up for your books as opposed to following the $1 or the 50-cent thrift store model might actually be something you may want to incorporate into your business model. Now, even though typically we enjoy very low buy costs, spending up for your books is going to have some very serious advantages. The first advantage is that higher priced books are abundant and they are everywhere.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere.
The more expensive that the book that you're buying is, the fewer booksellers are going to be out there trying to compete to purchase that same book. This is where you need to take advantage of your competitors' mentality. There's a lot of booksellers out there that simply refuse to spend more than $1 or $2 on a book. Now, even though you can spend 50 cents or $1 at a thrift store and walk away with a $50 book, a $100 book, you can certainly do that, and I think many of us have. But is it the most reliable way of finding those books? I don't think so. If you want to consistently find those books, a great thing to do is to mix up your buying strategy. So I hit those thrift stores, I hit those book sales, and I hit those rummage sales, but I also do my fair share of Amazon to Amazon flips. That is, in my opinion, unless you have a hookup locally, the most consistent way of finding these amazing books. Now, even though you can do it on your own, I know that a lot of people, including myself, use eFlip. When it's not textbook season, that's usually when I use eFlip to try and make it much easier to research the price discrepancy between Merchant Fulfill and FBA. Now the best part is that you can always find these books for Amazon to Amazon flips, and during the off season with a little bit of planning, you can find those amazing titles for $5 to $20 very regularly. And we're not talking about $30 books, we're talking about books that will sell in August and January very reliably for $80 to $100. Now the second advantage to spending up for your books is similar to an advantage that you can find in retail arbitrage. You will often find that your ROI percent for these books is going to be lower than your thrift store finds. Once you've actually got a little bit of cash flow and you have a thrifting budget, it becomes incredibly important to actually spend that thrifting budget. If you don't spend it, you can't grow it. And quite honestly, you get to that point where you have to ask yourself a question. Would you prefer 500% ROI on a 50-cent book, or would you prefer 75% ROI on a $25 book? Now, I knew that I had to explore Amazon to Amazon flips and finding premium books when my answer was all of the above. I want those low-cost books, but I also want the premium books that I can do Amazon to Amazon flips with. There's a very real third advantage to this, since doing these types of flips usually involves a software like eFlip, which is my preference, or another software like Zen Arbitrage. It's a fact that you can actually source at any time. You can source in the morning when you're waking up, sitting down with a cup of coffee. Before you even get your day started and go out sourcing, you can spend a half an hour in front of your computer and spend as much money as you're capable of. At the same time, if it's late at night and you're trying to find some stuff, you can actually source online when your competition is asleep and when all of the thrift stores are closed. This is going to give you that feeling that while you're out sourcing and you come home, there's actually books coming to you in the mail. If this is the first taste of books coming to you, this may become something that's pretty addictive. But make no mistake, the fact that you can use your time at any time of the day to source books is a very valuable part of my business model. Now, the fourth advantage to doing some fishing for premium books is that it actually gets much easier and much faster. Not only do you get better with your chosen software, but the fact is that as you find these books and you sell them through the textbook seasons, you start to develop this mental list of books that you know are winners, and they tend to be your go-tos. So not only are you developing leads by using software, but as you develop these leads, if you set Keepa alerts to your email address, you'll actually start having book leads coming to you as well.
More money, more money, more money.
So there's always way more books out there that are winners than you can actually spend your money on. But if you're wondering why everyone's not doing it, it's a pretty simple answer: cash flow. One of the great advantages to having a thrift store model is that you really don't spend very much money on your books. So you can actually source a lot of product for $100 or $200, especially if you're putting Craigslist ads down or finding ways to get inventory for free as well. When you're searching for premium books, especially for Amazon to Amazon flips, $200 doesn't necessarily get you nearly as far. $200 in my head for Amazon to Amazon flips is anywhere from 2 to 20 books tops. So it does require a little bit of capital that not everyone has. I know that when I began selling on Amazon, I couldn't do it. I adopted a thrift store model because it's actually what I had to do. I had to build my snowball pretty slowly, and I had to just grind it out little by little until I found that at the end of 2 weeks I had a little bit of money left over. The thought of spending $7 or $8 on a single title would have been the end of the world for me. At least it would have felt that way. And if you're a new seller, I would certainly caution you against spending an awful lot of money on one title unless you're very comfortable with the data that's in front of you from Keepa or Camel. But the moment that you see you have scratched out a pretty decent thrifting fund for yourself, I would honestly tell you to look into something like an eFlip, just so that you can increase your average sales price per unit and your net profit for each book. One more tip though, even when you do begin, make sure that you keep what I call a wide and shallow range of inventory. I wouldn't go too deep into any one title. I would keep my inventory to no more than 5 of any one book, and just have a wide range, have a more variety of different titles to choose from. It'll be no time before you're just buying books 20, 30 at a time when they're really just that fast of a seller. But here's the question of the day. What's the most that you've ever spent for a book, and how much did you sell it for? How long did that take to sell? Go ahead and put in your comments below, because I firmly believe that selling textbooks is one of the most resilient book businesses out there. Well, that's all for today's video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see me make more videos like this one, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to support the channel. If you haven't liked this video yet, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and tap on that book bag right there. While you're in there, go ahead and hit those bell notifications so that you don't miss any new videos. Until next time, let's go make some money.